Welcome to Wonder Education. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe. Today we'll be talking about the truth about primary schooling. Before we dive into this video, I do want to give a little tidbit. I know this is not a video I usually make. I usually make videos on how to succeed in other areas, but I believe that this video is extremely important, especially in the contemporary world. You must realize, in this past year at my school, which is a relatively competitive public school, 2 people committed suicide because of pressure, social pressure, academic pressure, and we have so much pressure, especially my generation, Generation Z. We put so much pressure on ourselves. We have so much external pressure. I think all of that um, adds up and honestly does damage to our mental and physical health. So I believe this is important. So these are all going to be tips on how you can alleviate some of that stress, how you can avoid stressing out. So let's get started. Number one, you don't have to conform to stereotypes. And I believe this is a tip that's not really been expounded that well. And I know, and this is from personal experience, people are going to judge you based on your social and ethnic and racial background. It's a given. It's a God given, actually. People will judge you based off it. This does not mean that you have to act like these people tell you to. So if you are the starting quarterback, the high school football team, people will expect you to, date the head cheerleader or date all the girls and be extremely popular and not associate yourselves with the so-called band nerds or nerds of the school. But the fact is that's not a rule. It's not like there's a barrier between you and the other people who are apparently below you on the social ladder. You can transverse that barrier and do whatever you want. Okay, do what you feel is right. You don't have to conform to stereotypes. And I believe this stereotyping is actually what leads to bullying. Okay, so most bullies are physically able kids, and from a young age we're taught, like, physically able kids are taught that especially like if they're excelling in sports and whatnot, you have to act masculine and act in a certain way to exert your dominance over others. And I believe being repeatedly told this conditions the bully's psyche to act in that way for the rest of his life, and that can lead to serious problems in the future. So obviously, in my opinion, there's a human being, a good, well-meaning human being inside every bully's exterior. And stereotyping, if everyone stops acting how stereotypes um, think they should act, will be a much better society. So secondly, act like you do at home. This does not mean act like you do at your parents' home. This means act like whatever you act like when you feel at home. So whether that is your friend's house, whether that's your hanging out place, wherever, act like you do over there. Don't try to act uncaring. Don't try to act in a certain toxic kind of way to show that you're cool. And this is obviously my third point. But so don't act like you're trying to be cool. Don't act mean to others. Don't pick on others. Don't do any of these things just because you think it'll make you more socially compatible, because this will only put stress on you because you're masking whatever is inside of you. So obviously don't try to be cool, but also don't try to be perfect. Don't try to be that guy who's lettered in 3 different varsity sports and is valedictorian and is student body president and is also the just this like the best dressed kid in the class. I don't know. Don't try to be perfect. Do what, in my opinion, everyone is perfect in their own special way. So if you're the kid who acts really well in drama, he's perfect. Even if this drama kid can't run a mile in under 15 minutes, he's still perfect in his own special way. The kid who plays the piano very well, he's perfect in his own special way. And if it doesn't matter if this piano kid does not go to any parties or does not act in a socially acceptable way, and the kid who is extremely athletic is also perfect. even if he flunked science and English. So obviously, don't try to be perfect. Just do what you're good at. And obviously, I don't mean the last part. Don't flunk science and English. Okay, pass all your classes. But this is gonna lead to my second slide. Find a niche. Okay, so you should spend the majority of your time on one thing and one thing only that helps you, that fulfills you internally. And every human has a passion. Every person has an internal passion that they like doing. And there's a traditional rule associated with a book. It's called 10,000. I think that the rule is that you have to do 10,000 hours of a certain thing in order to be good at that thing. I like to add a certain tidbit of my own to that. You have to do 10,000 hours of that thing in order to be good at it, but you also have to enjoy a majority of those 10,000 hours doing what you love to do. If you do that, I guarantee you will be much better off. Okay? And this kind of leads me to a second thing. Don't do something just for your resume. Don't try to get elected class president just because you think it'll look good on your resume. Don't try to participate in debate just because you think it'll look good on your resume. If you don't like debate, if you don't like politics, if you don't like governmental organizations, don't do these things just for your resume. Instead, do things that you're truly passionate about and focus a majority of your time on that. And thirdly, don't do things others are doing. Don't do things that you think will give you a leg up on the social ladder, because honestly, that just puts more stress on yourself. And I remember this especially on middle school kids and high school kids. I remember when it was cool when every single boy in the popular group or squad, as we used to call ourselves, played a sport. Okay, we all played sports of some kind. Some of us ran track, some of us played basketball, some of us played football, some of us played soccer. Everyone played a sport, and the fact is that a bunch of kids didn't enjoy what they were doing. They just did that because they thought it was natural that if I'm a guy and I'm friends with these other guys, I have to do what a similar thing to what they're doing in order to stay friends with these people. But the fact is that you don't have to do these things. If you follow this, what I said in the last slide, if you just be yourself, you will be much more well liked. Okay, and if you must spend time on things other than your passion and other than your traditional schoolwork, spend time on learning how to be a better person. So this leads to a final slide, a conclusion: be yourself and be a good person. This is one education out.